so I need to be united with Christ. So I have something to give. And so with the prayer life and beginning to really invest myself and take more seriously the sacramental life received in the Eucharist, and they would provide confessions throughout the week. That's, if I had that, then I could go out and I could share the love that I had received in my life with these young people. I could share the love that I was receiving now in the present moment. And I could also share the love that I was hoping for, in the years to come in my relationship with Christ. And so I learned a lot during the net training, and it was completely different than what I expected it to be. And one thing, going back to it, like me thinking, what is Jean doing with his life? He's not doing anything. He's just goofy things. These goofy retreats. He's not doing anything. He's not starting a career. I realized that Jean was doing a lot in his life, and God was doing a lot in his life, moving him on from college to the rest, of his eternity, making him grow closer to God, becoming even more of a true believer, liver out of the faith, living that, a liver of the faith. And so and then going now into like life on the road, I basically have 3 words for life on the road so far as I've experienced it. It's blessed, broken, and given. And for me, every day I have to realize how so blessed I am that I never have a reason not to be grateful. That if I just look around me, look at my teammates, and look at the incredible things that God's doing in all of our lives, and lives of people on retreats, just all the gifts that we have, like the ways that God takes care of us, especially with host families, and the way people take care of you on the road. We're so blessed, especially with the gifts God gives us to evangelize. And so that's the first thing I need to realize every day is I'm blessed. The second thing is that I need to allow myself to be broken in order to be given. And like Jeffrey was mentioning with obedience, denying your own self-will, especially your feelings, because every morning I'm realizing that I have a choice. I have a choice to get out of bed and do these retreats and put my whole heart in it. There's a lot of mornings where we wake up where we've been traveling for days, going to a new place every day, giving retreats all day long, being totally exhausted, and waking up in the morning being like, I just don't feel like giving a retreat today. I just don't feel like having to go meet, greet, mingle with 7th and 8th, 125 freshmen this morning, and having to get into their lives and pursue them. I just don't feel like doing that this morning. And right there, I have a choice to love. And that's the biggest thing I've learned, is that love is definitely not a feeling. It's a decision. And I have that decision every morning to get out of bed and to be there for the retreats. Even though I don't feel like it, and my emotions aren't, tip-top that morning, I still have the decision to follow Christ and to do His will. And that is what's giving me the energy and the peace and the joy of doing these retreats and living the life on the road. And that's what's allowing me to be given, is just allowing myself to be broken, to just deny my own will, things that I would rather be doing some days. And just allowing that, knowing that once I'm broken, that's what Christ is really going to give. And one quick example of the way He does this is also denying our own skepticism. Like, I'm just not going to be able to do anything today on this retreat. Their retreats aren't going to get anything out of it because I have nothing to give really, or they're just not going to get anything out of it. Denying that kind of skepticism and doubt of what God can do. And one quick example of what God can do is, I remember it was about 2 weeks ago, and we're at Bishop Wanger High School in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It was the biggest retreat we've given so far. It was like 125 ninth graders, which is a lot of ninth graders. And we were doing, I think it was a search retreat, and Angela needed to give the testimony that day. And it was a crazy day. Like, we got to the retreat late because we got lost, and like we pretty much got to the retreat. The retreats were all already there, all 125 of them. So we had to set up, just get things rolling once we were there. So I was like, okay, Angela, you're going to give your testimony after the talk today. Her testimony really didn't have to relate to the talk. It just didn't relate to the talk at all. And she was really nervous about whether it was going to really get through to him because it didn't, complement the talk very well and everything. So, kind of wondering, they're going to get something out or whatever. And she was kind of nervous about that, but come to find out, there was one girl that had dealt with the same exact things that Angela talked about in her testimony, and it really touched her life that day, and it reached out to her right where she was at. I think there's a score of her other friends, 3 or 4 of them, that were related to this young lady who really got a lot out of Angela's talk, and it just kind of spread between those girls in the retreat, and it's like her testimony was perfect for what they needed to hear at that moment, and it was a total God's providence moment where she probably didn't think that they were going to get anything out of it because it didn't have anything to do with the talk, but God used it, and He used it very well, and that's what He does every day on these retreats. Some days you come back from the retreat and you're like, did I do anything really today? And you get these glory stories where the retreats write down their experience, and it's just amazing what they've gotten out of just you being who you are by living out the faith. So that's my spiel. The next training in life on the road, being blessed, broken, given, and it's worth being broken, just the beauty that God can do in the lives of the youth in America, and the beauty that God can do in your own life. And today I heard a story, a very special priest, Father David, and it fits really well with this. And basically the story goes like this. There was this painter who would paint the most exquisite, beautiful paintings. And when he got older, he became crippled. And this guy who admired his amazing, beautiful paintings was intrigued at the fact that this old man with these gnarled hands, with this arthritis, was still, throughout all the suffering of it, still painting these incredibly beautiful paintings, even throughout all the suffering that he was enduring in his hands and the rest of his body. And it intrigued me, like, how is this old man with these, arthritis-ridden